Morning, it is Becca from Becca's Garden and Prepper Pantry, and it is another food bank haul today. It is the third week in October, and we're definitely starting to see some different things happen and show up on the news about how we are not having as many workers show up or pick what's going on with our crops. And a lot of people are not seeing those effects in the stores just yet. So I don't know how many people realize that we're going to see shortages down the line and don't realize the importance of stocking up your pantry as best you can. And I mean that in the most sincerity, that any way that you can, if someone can help pick up something up extra at a food bank for you and share. If you're just going to the Dollar Tree and picking up a few extra items and putting it back on your shelf, if you're catching those sales and trying to divide things up and store things for later, either in your freezer or on your shelf, break things up into a little bit smaller things to store away with, either like the food saver bags or even double Ziploc bag them and put things in your freezer and things like that way. So I'm going to show you guys what was in the box today. It was a pretty good size box. There was a lot more people there this month than even last month, and it is a program that you sign up for, and I know they had some open spots available, so it does look like people are taking advantage of the extra spots that were open, and a lot of people are showing up thinking it's a regular pickup. And so today is a special program for people who have diabetes and different forms of diabetes. Like myself, I have a rare diabetes condition that actually affects the kidneys. So anyway, I qualified. So we've been doing that the last few months, and it's really helped stretch our budget out and help us start, getting caught up with some of our bills and debts and things like that. So another thing I want to talk about is if you have a little bit of space and a little bit of land, and I mean, you don't need a lot. We live on 1/10 of an acre total with a 1,000 square foot home. I know there's not potato seed available this time of year, and I do have some saved from last season, but this is a 5-pound bag of just some yellow golden potatoes, whatever potatoes you like. These actually grow really well here. I'm going to let them sprout. I picked up two 5-pound bags for just under $10. So that's 10 pounds of potatoes I'm going to be planting plus whatever I have. Each potato gives me about 5 pounds. So planting 10 pounds of potatoes will give me 50 pounds of potatoes when I go to harvest, on average. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. So these are just store-bought, and you can go plant them and water them and fertilize them just a little bit. And you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. So even if you get food stamps and things like that, you can purchase this with your food stamps, dig up your ground, and plant them. We are here in South Texas where it's been high 90s, so it's been a little challenging getting our fall garden started, but I am working on that. And trying to get my fall starts going, my seeds. I'm going to be planting carrot seed this week, so I'll have some videos about that. But here we go. This is they gave us some canned goods in a box. So we got some black beans, some pumpkin for the holidays, mixed vegetables, spaghetti sauce, tropical fruit. This is the first time I've seen chickpeas, Pappy's Pantry chickpeas. We got 2 bags of that. We got some shelled pecans, because I'm sure they were in the South. They always think of us and the pecan pies that people make, although I don't actually make pecan pie, but we love pecans. We got some grapes my husband was snacking on. They're nice and sweet. Got a papaya. The cabbage is really good for like coleslaw and or like cabbage soup. Or there's a cabbage roll recipe that I use. And I use like hamburg, onion, and rice and condensed tomato soup. You can make wraps and roll it up and bake it. Or you can just kind of chop it up kind of like a soup and bake it that way. There's some nice bell peppers. This is the first time I see some tomatoes. We've got some yellow squash and some romaine lettuce, carrots, and this is some type of citrus. I don't know if it's lime, lemon, or orange. It doesn't really, I'd have to scratch at it a little bit more. I'm thinking these are some kind of large limes. So I don't know, we'll have to give that a little bit of a scratch and sniff and see what that is. But we have some frozen strawberries again. Those were really good last time. They give a really good selection of some vegetables. We've got cauliflower, sweet corn, green beans, and spinach, a bag of chicken, and some chicken sausage. Never tried that. So something you want to do when you're coming back from a pickup is see how these are sweating. These are, I actually pre-wiped these down before putting them here, but you don't want to store any of your produce sweaty in the fridge. It will start to rot and go bad. So dry them off and let them stop sweating before you stick them back in the fridge if you're putting them in the fridge. So I would store this in the fridge. I will probably chop that up and bag it. This I will store on the counter. I will make sure it's dried so it can keep ripening for the papaya. The grapes I will rinse off, dry off, and put in a container in the fridge. The tomatoes, I never store tomatoes in the fridge. They don't store well that way and they don't ripen properly. So make sure you dry off your tomatoes and let them sit on the counter and use them within the week. Those will be in the fridge. Carrots will be in the fridge. Strawberries in the freezer. The rest of the stuff in the freezer. Again, citrus and all that does not go in your fridge. Dry these all off and let them ripen on a counter in a bowl or a basket. So I hope that helps you with storage of some of the items that you bring back, because I know a lot of people don't really understand how to maximize storing items for a longer term than, you know, just a few days, because a lot of the stuff will go bad in your fridge if you stick it in there when it's, you know, sweaty and wet and things like that, and it's too much moisture. Again, so like I said, I'm working on the garden. I think I've done a few videos. I'll try to do some more. Yesterday was a rough day for me. I was really weak, and I have some paralysis episodes from another rare condition I have. So today's going to be a little bit of a slow day, and I think I might work on planting my carrot seed. It was a nice cool morning, and we got a little bit of rain the other day, so that will really help my garden. And I've got some broccoli that I put in the ground, purple cauliflower. I have bok choy growing right now. I have my green beans and my snap peas growing right now. I don't have a lot of other things growing in the garden. We did plant some cucumber seeds. I have a few tomato plants I put out there that are fast growing. Kind of a quick variety. We're going to grow the Marglobe ones this season. And then I started my lettuce seed, which I can eat on all through winter with a frost cover. If we get any really cold temperatures, I can cover that up. But if you can grow lettuce indoors, you can have lettuce growing on a countertop in your kitchen. I've seen people do it with the little containers and the crack key method. You could do it with just some a little pot, a little pot on your counter, and have a few herbs and a few lettuces growing, kind of like a salad bowl, and do like a cut and come again. Have it by the window so it's getting some sunlight, and you can grow a few things that way. Really cheap seed at the Dollar Tree for $4 packets. You can get the carrots and the lettuce seed there. Like if you don't have space for carrots because you really need some loose soil, you can always do lettuce. You can always do like a little microgreen too as well. With sunflower seeds, you can do a cut and come again with growing some sunflower seeds on your countertop indoors as well for some fresh greens. And what else? So we have lettuces started. I have tomatoes planted. Cucumbers started. Our onion sets come in, we're in zone 9B, so our onion sets come in mid-November now at the nurseries, and so we go pick up our onion sets and plant them. And I started some Swiss chard. That is a really good green that grows well here. And I started a new variety of spinach. I cannot remember. That one seems to be doing okay. And you can, when you bring home a whole fresh stalk of celery from the supermarket, you can cut it off and leave about 1.5 inches of the whole bottom. Stick it in some water, fresh water every day, and after about a week it starts sprouting celery. And you can just stick it in a pot or stick it in the ground, and you'll have celery. You can do that with 2 or 3 plants, depending on how much celery you use. And that's what gives you a really good supply of celery until we get like a frost or a freeze. So Swiss chard's real easy. Collards are real easy to grow. And again, you can get the seed at the dollar store. It's really simple to grow a few fresh greens, even in a few pots. You can always get some free pots or simple pots on Marketplace from people. You can grow right in the soil bags. People have done that too. Yeah, so there's lots of ways to grow some little bit of extra food around. Have it on your porch, or, you know, have a little pot or two on your kitchen countertop. And that can help out a little bit with your budget. So yeah, that's my tips on growing a little bit of extra food and trying to stretch things out. And stocking up, just finding those sales and grabbing a couple of extra things if you can afford it. And always go with the things that can stretch out your meals. If you like it. If you like eating potatoes, rice, beans, pasta, and oats. Those are like all your meal stretchers. You can always add oats to stretch out meat loaves. You can add rice. I actually add mashed potatoes to my meatloaf, to like the instant ones, to help stretch it out and make it as a binder. No one even notices. You just add a little bit of extra vegetables in there and you have a nice meatloaf. So I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're checking out the sales that are happening in your area and do the best you can to stretch it out and stock up a little bit of here and there to help. If not for yourself, if you're able to get a little bit extra and help out neighbors or friends that are going through hard times, you can make a nice little goodie basket and drop it off, and it helps them out. So yep, take care of each other. Don't freak out when you see the news talking about a lot of this stuff, about how there's going to be shortages and things like that. Just know that they are probably coming. We're going to have disruptions and shortages, and we do the best we can to have a little bit extra put back on the pantry to stretch things out through times like that. All right. God bless. See you in the next video. Take care, everybody. We love you. And stay safe. Bye.